Something's not right about this clip. Or this one. Or the next.
They only scratched the surface. Tonight's episode is crawling with cryptids, shadow figures, conspiracies, and footage no one's been able to explain.
My name's Steve. This is Classified Captures. Now watch closely. Starts now.
This spider is dead, yet scientists have somehow figured out a way to use its corpse. Unlike most creatures, spiders don't have muscles in their legs. Instead, they move using hydraulic pressure. This is why spiders' legs curl up when they die. Researchers studying spiders discovered that they could control a spider's legs even after it's dead by pumping air into those same hydraulic chambers. This allows them to use the spider's limbs however they please, including turning it into a gripping tool. They call it Necrobotics, which, as its name suggests, is a mix of biology and robotics that allows them to use dead specimens to perform tasks. It sounds like a great idea at first, but at what point will they draw the line? Some of my team members are convinced that it's only a matter of time before we have robots tucking us into bed with dead spiders for hands. Yeah, well, that's not a thought I'd love to dwell on, but could it happen? A family in China recently shared some strange security footage from their home, and it's been leaving people scratching their heads ever since. The father was reviewing the feed late one night when he noticed something odd. From the corner of the house, a dark humanoid figure suddenly appeared. At first, it looked like just a shadow or maybe a trick of the light, but then the figure changed direction and walked across the yard, right in full view of the camera. As it moved, the figure began to glitch. Its body flickered and distorted, and a shimmering outline formed around it, almost like a glow. It looked like it wasn't fully solid and was phasing in and out of reality. The family was stunned. They ruled it out being a person or even a ghost. Instead, many viewers are now speculating that this was some kind of interdimensional being. What do you think? This man had a strange and unforgettable encounter with something or someone at the bar. And if you still don't believe that there might be other beings walking amongst us, maybe this story will make you think twice. Just listen to him.
So she walked into this little bar I was in. She kind of walked up to me and she ordered me a drink, before I even introduced myself. And she said, I like your energy, so I'm like, okay. She told me my face looked like it told stories. So I kind of laughed it off, I'm like, okay, whatever that means. So then she reached and touched my birthmark and she whispered, I like the broken parts. I mean, I don't know what that means. Like, I'm glad I got a free drink and she looked good. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So we talking for like an hour, y'all. Like nothing deep, just like, little flirting, low tones, kind of vibes. So then I got up to go order a second drink. So the bartender slid me a glass, but he slid me like a little napkin with the glass, but it was like kind of folded up. He ain't say nothing. He just kind of like nodded at me. I'm like, okay. So I unfolded it and I read it and it said, don't leave with her. You're not the first. I'm like, what? Not the first? I'm too faded for this. First of all, so I don't even know what you're talking about right now. So I'm like, okay, I guess. So I turned back and the bartender was gone. Like not in the back, not serving anymore. Like he was just gone. So I turned around to the table, and she was gone too.
Yeah, that happened. Who or what do you think he was talking to? Some are now speculating that this could have been an encounter with a succubus or some kind of sexual entity that only reveals itself to its target. Others say it might have been a hallucination or illusion, but the man insists everything felt real. You heard him speak, so what do you think?
And the drink was there though, and it's still like, dripping, like sweating on the table. So this lady comes from the back, whatever. She asked me, like, okay. And I'm like, I'm looking for my friend. And she was like, your friend. And we kind of going back and forth. And she was kind of looking at me like, she don't know what I'm talking about. So she was like, come look at this. She showed me the security camera, and I was sitting there by myself all night.
A strange image to see, I know, but the story behind it is even weirder. According to the uploader of the image, he went out one night to retrieve his trail cam from the woods. This was supposed to be standard procedure, as it wasn't his first rodeo, but the moment he stepped into the arena, something felt off. There were strange noises all around him, with branches crackling, but when he looked around, he didn't see a single thing. Instinctively, he grabbed his camera and quickly got out of there. Later that night, he started reviewing the footage, and that's when he came across this image. Not sure if you can tell, but it looks like a face very close to the camera. This is no ordinary face, however. It's got a human-like nose, eyes, and features, but its head is completely covered in fur, and its structure is ape-like. The funny thing is, when he checked the time at which the image was captured, he realized it was around the same time he was in the woods. Many in the paranormal community believe this is explicit evidence of Bigfoot, but how? Bigfoot is supposed to be a large creature. How could it have been so close to him without him seeing it? Yet, he felt a chilling presence, but he should have at least seen something. To some, this was evidence that Bigfoot could cloak himself. To others, however, this was a sign that the whole thing was a joke. They argued that it was most definitely an edited image or even a prank. You've seen the image and heard his story, so what do you think? Recently, this woman was at the beach filming a casual video of herself. She had the camera pointed at her face, chatting and recording with the ocean in the background. Everything seemed normal until she shifted slightly and we caught a glimpse of something standing behind her on the beach. What we see is a strange, motionless figure. It has an extremely pale face, almost white like chalk. But when the footage was zoomed in, it got even more unsettling. You can clearly make out messy blonde hair and a bun. Also, the figure doesn't look human at all. In Russia, there's a long-standing legend about an alien-like being that's been said to appear as a pale creature with white skin, deep black eyes, and blonde hair, tied up in a messy bun. Could this be the very creature from the Russian legends? Some in the community believe it is, but others think it's just a person in makeup or even a camera glitch. As with these things, there's an ongoing debate with no clear winner. Amidst the uncertainty, there's one thing that we can be sure of. This figure in the background doesn't blink, doesn't move, and feels deeply out of place. So is this just a coincidence, or did this woman accidentally capture something not of this world watching her from the shore? Kindly share your thoughts. Do you really pay attention to the toys you give your child, or do you just assume they're safe because they're sold in stores? If you do, then this is for you. First up is a toy all the way back from 1947. It was a ring that came as a prize in cereal boxes. It was advertised as a fun way for kids to see atomic energy, but what they didn't tell you was that this little ring contained actual radioactive material. Kids were walking around with radiation on their fingers. Then there was this toy gun that shot plastic balls using a gas-powered mechanism. Sounds simple enough, right? But the chemicals used in the gun reacted with water to produce a gas that could burn the skin or eyes of any kid holding it. Many children ended up with painful injuries just from trying to play. Next, we have a particularly horrifying one. Jarts, or lawn darts. These things were essentially small metal spears that kids could throw in the air, hoping they'd land on a target. Except with children running around the yard, the darts often landed on skulls instead of soil. Dozens of children were severely injured, some even died. And then there's the infamous doll that eats. It was designed so kids could feed it small plastic foods, but what happened was that the doll didn't know when to stop chewing. Kids would accidentally get their fingers or hair caught in the doll's mouth, and the motor would just keep going. It was fun until it turned terrifying. I know what you're thinking. These are old examples. Well, the situation isn't better in recent times. In 2007, there was an easy bake oven, marketed as a safe way for kids to bake treats. But the heating element was a bulb that got dangerously hot, and children who stuck their hands inside ended up with serious burns. Also in 2007, a fingerprint dusting kit was sold for kids who wanted to play detective. The problem is that the dust in the kit contained asbestos, a known carcinogen, a toy made for children that came with toxic cancer-causing powder. And then there was the infamous aquadots, these colorful balls used for arts and crafts. They were coated in a chemical that, when ingested, turned into a powerful sedative. Several children who swallowed them ended up in hospital with comas. Companies have gotten sneakier in recent times with an army of lawyers to protect them. Of course, this makes it more difficult to accuse them. This is why, as parents, there's a need to be even more careful in today's world when buying toys for your kids. Read the reviews, look up the materials, because not everything's marketed to kids that's safe for them. Just because we can't understand animals the way we understand humans, we assume they're less aware. We think we're the most conscious and the most intelligent beings on Earth. But what if that's not true? Recent scientific research has started to challenge that idea. Studies suggest that animals might be more conscious than we realize, some possibly even more aware than humans in certain ways. And get this, even insects, the ones we usually swat away without a second thought, have shown signs of awareness and decision-making that go way beyond simple instinct. So maybe animals aren't just reacting, they're thinking, feeling, and processing the world in ways we don't fully understand. We've always looked at animals as if they were beneath us, but maybe, just maybe, they only let us think that, and we're the ones beneath them.
Honestly, personally, I think this one's a bit daft. If anybody thinks for 1 second that animals aren't sentient, that they don't have souls, well, nobody has stared into a dog's eyes when they've looked at you with love.
Some shared this strange footage from a street security camera, and honestly, it's one of the weirdest things we've ever seen. At first, you see a dark, shadowy mass floating silently over an empty road, but then watch closely as it begins to thicken, and before you know it, it shifts and forms into a group of people all dressed in black, calmly walking down the street like they'd always been there. Now let's run that back. It doesn't look like fog, it doesn't look like smoke, it looks like something intelligent, something deliberate. It's almost like we're witnessing a group of people manifesting out of thin air right there in the middle of the road. Could this be a paranormal manifestation caught on camera, or is this just edited footage? Most of the time when we see animals with strange or unsettling features, the first thing people say is, "That's a skinwalker." And it's understandable. Some of these creatures really do look eerie, especially when the camera catches them from the wrong angle. Take this footage that was shared online. It shows you a cute little lamb. But when it turns its head to the side, you'll notice its mouth is stretched unusually wide, and the lower jaw is extremely small and shrunken. Because of its appearance, people were quick to call it a skinwalker, but it's not. The truth, unfortunately, is much sadder. This creature is most likely suffering from a genetic deformity. Although not very common, many animals experience severe congenital issues that make life painful. In this case, the lamb has no visible teeth, which makes eating very difficult, if not impossible. Without proper care, it won't survive for long, and even with care, its quality of life may be limited. So while it's easy to jump to paranormal conclusions, sometimes what we're really seeing is just a creature born into a struggle, doing its best to live in a body that wasn't built for survival. This next image was shared by a trail cam owner who spotted something strange and unexplainable on his device, and now he's asking for help to identify it. It is this bipedal creature walking through the woods. Right beside the creature is a small makeshift cabin. According to the man, he built this little shelter deep into the forest where he camps from time to time. To keep an eye on the area while he's away, he set up a trail camera, but he wasn't expecting this. Now, let's take a closer look. As the image zooms in, it becomes clearer that this is not a bear, and it's definitely not Bigfoot. This thing has a long, muscular body, walks upright like a man, but its head and snout resemble a large canine. The more you look at it, the more unsettling it gets. Many online are speculating that this might be a Dogman. If that's the case, then this man might want to start visiting that cabin, or at least, well, not visit it alone. What do you think? A man had a terrifying close call one night while driving, and luckily his dash cam caught everything. He was cruising along a quiet road when the car ahead of him suddenly swerved to the opposite side, colliding with another vehicle. It all happened in a split second. Thankfully, the man managed to stop just in time. But that's when something even more unsettling happened. Right after the crash, as the vehicles collided, something appeared in the middle of the road. It was a translucent human-like figure that seemed to emerge from behind the crash site. You can see it clearly in the footage, a faint, almost ghostly figure standing there. The man was completely shocked, and now viewers are debating what it could be. Some think it was just a distortion from the crash, others believe it might have been a spirit or something paranormal tied to the violence of the accident. Whatever it was, the timing is chilling. This next footage was shared by a woman who says her home security camera, which faces the road, picked up something truly strange. It was late at night, and you see a woman walking alone on the side of the road. She's moving calmly as cars drive by. Every now and then, she slows down and glances to the side. Then something completely unexplainable happens. As the cars stop coming, the woman steps right into the middle of the road, still looking to the side occasionally. And just like that, she vanishes into thin air. One moment she's there, the next, gone. Now, people are trying to figure out what they just saw. Was it a hoax, or did the camera catch something truly paranormal? You be the judge. We've all done this before. Well, when I say we, I certainly haven't, but I know plenty of women have. But most of us have taken a quick mirror selfie in a restroom, just like this woman did in the photograph she posted. It was a cute shot. She wasn't thinking much of it until someone pointed something out. Right behind her in the mirror, just over her shoulder near the wall, you can see a figure. It looks like someone is peeking their head out, but she insists she was completely alone in the bathroom. And this was not just any public restroom, it was at a hospital. She said she didn't notice anything strange at the time, only when people started commenting on it later. Now, people are going wild with theories. Some say it's a ghost, others think it might just be a person trying to hide when they noticed that she was taking a picture. But the figure's face is completely dark and unclear, almost like a shadow with no distinct features. So what do you think? A few weeks ago, a man at Myrtle Beach in South Carolina shared a strange video. He claimed he saw a submarine in the water right there near the shore. Police and authorities quickly showed up to get control of the situation, but not long after, the same man posted another video. This time, he said it was all a mistake. According to him, there were no submarines, just a school of fish. Now, that would have ended things if the second video didn't feel so off. People who watched it noticed something strange. The man looked different. His voice, his face, and his expression, well, it was almost like he was being forced to say it. Some believe he was visited by the so-called men in black and pressured into changing his story. But why? Why change the story unless they're hiding whatever the not-so-submarine thing in the water was? There's definitely something fishy about the whole situation. What do you think?
Ever since I got that submarine video, did y'all hear the new rules and regulations and the new laws that North Carolina and South Carolina is trying to pass at their beaches? You ain't heard about it? They're trying to outlaw fishing on the beach from the coast in North Carolina and South Carolina. Now, y'all think about that. Why would they be trying to outlaw fishing on the coast? I would like to come on here and formally apologize. Most people know me as Upcharge, but here recently, I would like to apologize for all the havoc that I caused with the submarine video that I spotted in North Myrtle Beach just about 2.5 weeks ago. I'm really sorry for getting news stations involved and the rest of the public. I'm just making this video to ensure you guys that you know it's absolutely nothing to worry about. It was not a submarine at all.
Why is this man shaking so much while driving the car? It looks like the whole vehicle is trembling, and no, he's not possessed or having a meltdown. What you're seeing is called a death wobble, and yes, it's as intense as it sounds. This mostly happens in 4x4 vehicles, especially Jeeps. It usually occurs when the car hits a bumper or pothole at high speeds, causing the front suspension to shake violently. That's why in the video the man appears to be shaking uncontrollably while trying to steer. It's the car itself vibrating like crazy. Now, as scary as it looks, it's not completely uncommon. To control the situation, you're supposed to do exactly what the guy did. Grip the steering wheel tightly and slowly reduce your speed. After that, get your vehicle checked out because the death wobble usually means there's a suspension or steering component that needs attention. Some Jeep owners have even put bumper stickers on their car that say, "I survived the death wobble." I think it's a little dramatic, but when your car starts shaking like it's about to fall apart, it's probably because you've got something major going on. So yeah, it's wild, but it's also nothing new. So just be vigilant and don't panic in a situation like this, since, well, now you know.
Ya ve, todavía tiene el cuento del... Regresar.
People always say we should have the freedom to be who we are and express ourselves, but honestly, it looks like we're starting to take it too far. In the UK, there's a creepy middle-aged man going around online calling himself Smart Schoolboy 9. He's been sharing bizarre videos of himself dressed in inappropriate school uniforms with his face painted white, red lips, and thick glasses, all while carrying what looks like a child's lunchbox. He claims to be a little schoolboy despite clearly being a grown man with a pot belly, and it's setting off major alarm bells. People are rightly disturbed. And while his true identity isn't being revealed, many suspect he could be a child predator. For a while, news about him went quiet, but now it seems he's resurfaced, haunting the internet again with his weird videos and reportedly chatting with kids online. Parents, please be alert. Keep an eye on what your children are watching and who they're interacting with, because, well, as we all know, not everything online is harmless. I hope he's captured soon. Creep.
Man, just give me this guy. A nice, small room somewhere. Maybe give me a cricket bat. Then we'll see quite what kind of a schoolboy this fucker really is.
A Brazilian YouTuber and his friends went camping in the forest. They spent the day hiking through the jungle, filming their adventure. By nightfall, they picked a quiet spot to camp, set up their tent, and settled in. But just when they're about to fall asleep, they notice something from the tree line, this pair of glowing eyes staring right at them. Then all of a sudden, it darted forward fast, but instead of charging at them, it climbed up into a tree, still staring at them. At that point, the group did what any of us would do. They packed up immediately. As they made their way back toward the main road, they realized that it was still following them. They could see the glowing eyes, but they never got a clear look at the creature itself. Now, if you watch the footage, it does kind of look like it could be a wild animal, but that glowing stare, the way it moved and how it kept its eyes locked on them the whole time is not normal behavior. Good thing they got out of there, because whatever that was, it was not just passing by. It was hunting them. Do you think it was a wild animal or a cryptid?
Dale, 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 dale. Pero la puta que lo parió. ¿Se fue? No puede ser, amigo. Agarra un cuchillo. Desapareció, amigo. Búsquenlo. Sigue estando ahí. ¿Ves? Sigo río. Ahí está, mira.
This next piece of footage comes from China, and it's pretty unsettling. It was late at night, and a man had just opened his front door to let a motorcycle rider into the house. After letting the rider in, he closed the gate behind him and even secured it just to be safe. But moments later, something truly bizarre happened. The man was shaken when he reviewed the security footage. The very same gate he had just secured slowly began to open on its own. No one touched it or was near it, but it just opened. And here's where it gets even weirder. In the footage, you can see the dog inside the house, and as the gate starts to open, the dog becomes alert and stares intently at the doorway, almost like it senses something. Then, it slowly begins walking toward the open gate, not barking, just cautiously moving, like it's drawn to something we can't see. The man was stunned when he saw this. He swore he'd locked the gate, so how did it come undone? Some people online are saying it was probably just the wind, but when you look at the footage, that explanation does not quite hold up. If it was the wind, why did it only one side of the gate open while the other stayed perfectly still? Also, the way the dog reacts like it's sensing something invisible adds another layer to the mystery. It's as if the animal knew something was there, even though we couldn't see it. So, is this just a freak gust of wind and coincidence, or did something else enter that home that night? A man in Twin Falls, Idaho had invited a few of his friends over for a sleepover at his place. They were planning to hang out in the basement of the house for the night. Before his friends showed up, he decided to film a quick walkthrough of the place, probably just killing time while waiting. He moved the camera through the living area, showed the washroom, then headed down the hallway. Eventually, he reached one of the rooms, which was dark. The door was already open, and as soon as he peeked inside, he gasped and immediately backed up in shock because he saw something standing there. Right there in the pitch dark was the silhouette of a figure. It looked like a person wearing a top hat, just standing still in the shadows. You could see the outline, just like something waiting in the dark. Trying to keep it together, the man mustered some courage, stepped into the room and flipped the lights on, but by then the figure was gone. Now, to anyone familiar with the paranormal world, this description rings a very specific bell: the Hatman. This isn't a new phenomenon. People across the world have reportedly seen this same tall, shadowy man in a long coat and a wide-brimmed hat. Sometimes he appears at night by the door, sometimes at the edge of the bed, other times, like in this case, just standing quietly in a room. Unlike other shadow figures, the Hatman is usually more defined. Many believe he's not a ghost, but something else. Some say he shows up when there's trauma or fear in a house. Others claim he feeds off negative energy, even following people from place to place. There are stories of him appearing during sleep paralysis, staring silently and never speaking. So what was the man in Idaho seeing? Was it just a shadow cast by something in the room? Or did he have a real encounter with one of the most well-known and feared entities in the paranormal world? Someone at the beach saw something truly bizarre. Right there on the shore, two large lizards were standing upright on their hind legs, embracing each other like humans. The person who saw it was so stunned they started filming, and honestly, just watching it feels strange. The way the lizards stood up, balanced like people and held onto each other, doesn't feel like normal animal behavior. But it feels like we're seeing something we're not supposed to. Not sure, but some people online are saying this might be normal for certain species like monitor lizards or Komodo dragons when they're fighting or asserting dominance. But even in those cases, it usually looks aggressive like wrestling. This looked calm, deliberate, and almost affectionate. So what are we actually seeing here? There are a lot of wild stories out there about reincarnation, but this one really makes you stop and think. A woman shared an experience she had with her young daughter, Olivia. From the time she could speak, Olivia would say strange things no child her age should know. She had casually mentioned that she'd lived before and that she had a family before meeting her new mommy. One day, she told her mom that she used to be a singer and even had a little sister named Marianne. Now here's where things get weird. Olivia, who'd never taken any music lessons or even picked up an instrument before, grabbed a guitar one day and played it like a pro. Her mom was stunned. That's when her mother started digging. She searched for stories or historical records that could somehow connect to what Olivia was describing. Eventually, she came across the story of a woman named Olive Oatman. She was a white woman who'd been captured by the Mojave tribe back in the 1800s. Olive had a younger sister who was captured with her named Mary Ann. Weird, right? But there's more. Olivia, the daughter, had always hated it when anyone touched her chin. She'd flinch or pull away if it hurt. Her mom never understood why until she read that when Olive Oatman was captured, the Mojave tribe tattooed her chin as a mark of ownership. That detail matched exactly with her daughter's strange sensitivity. Piece by piece, things started to line up from the name, the musical ability, and the mention of a sister, and even the physical trauma tied to the chin. So what do we make of all this? Is this just a case of incredible coincidence, a young girl with an active imagination, or is this a real example of reincarnation?
Your Eve.
Face look like me.
Her face look like you.
See that and that?
A woman in Iceland recently shared a video she took while visiting a waterfall. She was standing near the edge of the cliff filming the breathtaking view when she accidentally captured something else. In the footage, a dark figure can be seen climbing up the side of the cliff. But here's the thing. That cliff is steep, slippery, and incredibly dangerous. It's almost impossible for a person to scale it like that. The woman even said she didn't hear or see anyone at the time she was filming, so who or what was it? Some people believe it might not be human at all. There's speculation that this could be some kind of cryptid that lives near the waterfall. Others say it could be an Icelandic elf, which wouldn't be too surprising considering that Icelandic folklore is full of stories about elves and hidden people who live in nature. So what do you think this was? A man recently shared a video clip he retrieved from his trail camera, and it's left a lot of people unsettled. In the first clip, it's nighttime. We see a figure appear from the back of the frame and slowly walk across with his back turned to the camera. At first, it looks like just any person walking through a forest, but then you notice it's a man, and he's completely naked except for a torn piece of cloth wrapped around his waist. His body is covered in dirt, and his hair is long and wild. The man doesn't look around, he just calmly walks deeper into the woods like he lives there. That's not all. The man who shared the footage also posted another clip taken on a sunny day. In this one, it appears to be the same person again. Same long hair, same strange movements, only this time he's holding what looks like a crude tool or a stick in his hand. His skin is muddy, and again, he doesn't react to the camera at all, just walks straight through the forest like it's home. The person who posted the footage believes it's the same man in both clips. Now here's where things get even creepier. Across the US, there have been reports of people claiming to see wild men in national parks and forested areas. These figures are often described as dirty, barefoot, and dressed in scraps, and in some of these same parks, people have mysteriously gone missing. That's led some to speculate that these wild men could be responsible. Some people are calling this new footage some proof that wild men do exist, but not everyone is convinced. A few skeptics say the clips look too clean and might be AI generated. The lighting and movements seem a little too perfect, almost like something out of a simulation rather than real life. So what do you think? Is this a real feral man caught on camera, or just another creepy digital illusion?
This sounds like Tarzan. Have we got like Tarzan or people like Tarzan walking around everywhere? I don't even know if this is a feral guy. Maybe there's women walking around called Jane too.
This security camera footage showcases something that's both strange and weird. It was late at night outside on a quiet road when this bizarre figure appeared. At first, it looked like a tall vertical shape that just moved across the street, but only half of it seemed visible. As it walked further, it was shrinking or maybe fading away. Now, the person who shared the footage said they're pretty confused. They're not sure if this was just a lens flare and glitch in the camera or an actual paranormal entity walking down the road. Maybe a spirit or something else entirely. Honestly, the movement doesn't look like a typical shadow or light reflection, and the way it gets smaller as it moves makes people uneasy. So what do you think it is? While we can all agree that scientists might be taking this whole robot thing a little too far, it seems like humans are getting strangely attached to machines, not just using them, but treating them like people, even showing sympathy for them. Recently, an MIT research study involved both humans and robots came out, and even the researchers called the findings disturbing. Take a listen. We're talking about machines built by code and wires. They don't feel, they don't even think like us, but still, people are struggling to separate logic from emotion when interacting with them. We're getting too soft and trusting of these machines, and if we're already treating robots like humans now, what happens when they get more advanced? Will we even be able to tell the difference anymore?
They took robots, turned them into these like cute dinosaur robots, and had humans interact, play with them, spend time, kind of connect with them, and then they were like, okay, now we need you to torture them, and like would give them a hammer and be like, we just need you to take out the robot. And every single human being who had spent any time with these baby dinosaur robots, they all refused. MIT thought it would be like a split, like 50-50, or, swayed one way or the other. No, everyone refused.
We've got a trail cam capture of a strange creature spotted deep in the woods. This was taken in the middle of the night. Right there in the frame, you can see this dog-like creature crouched low to the ground. Its arms are wide open and its legs are hind legs. Some are calling it a Dogman. The shape, the posture, and even the glowing eyes when you zoom in is definitely a fit for that description. But not everyone's convinced. Some skeptics think this might be a clever hoax, maybe a man in a suit or a digitally altered image meant to stir up views. And in this age of viral content and AI tools, anything's possible. Still, there's something about this one that feels a little too real. The way it's positioned and how it blends into the environment is unsettling. What do you think it is? A man was out near Canmore, Alberta, when he spotted something strange that's now stirring up debate online. He was quite far from the mountain ridge when he noticed a dark figure moving high up across the rocky terrain. Luckily, he had his camera rolling. At first, he thought it might be nothing, but as he zoomed in, it became clear that this figure was walking upright, fast, and effortlessly gliding across the steep ridge. Now here's the thing. This was no ordinary sight. The terrain up there is rough, sharp, and not easy to move through. But whatever this was didn't seem to be bothered at all. It moved like it belonged there. The man believes this could be a Sasquatch, but others say it's probably just a bear or a person, and that the distance and blur make it hard to tell. Still, when you watch the footage closely, something about its posture, movement, and stride feels different. Almost too human to be a bear, but too strange to be a person. So what do you think? Some people were exploring Google Earth when they came across this strange network of tunnels in the middle of nowhere in Los Angeles. The area was completely isolated, but what made it even creepier was that there appeared to be the word "help" written on the ground. When some folks went to check out the place in person, they found that the tunnels were gone or at least no longer visible. What they did find was an abandoned site full of rubble, and within it were strange room-like structures. Also, there were things like dresses, children's toys, socks, and other random items that just didn't belong there. People began to speculate that this location might be connected to human trafficking, and honestly, it's hard not to see why. After some digging, it turns out the land might be owned by a certain cement company, and here's where things get even more suspicious. That same company had allegedly been suspected years ago of possible connections to human trafficking. Back then, the media even covered another abandoned property owned by them, and it looks eerily similar. It was also full of rubble, old blankets, discarded clothes, and that same strange empty feeling. So here we are again, finding human-like items in odd forgotten places. This can't just be a coincidence. Something's going on, don't you think? Soon, blindness might be curable without the need for all those complicated laser surgeries. Go on, ask me how. A team of scientists has managed to 3D print a living human cornea in under 10 minutes. They use stem cells mixed with a special seaweed-based gel to recreate the structure of a real cornea, layer by delicate layer. This new printed cornea is said to be suitable for transplant, and if that proves successful in trials, it could be life-changing for millions of people waiting for donor corneas. What's wild is how fast the process is. Under 10 minutes? It sounds like science fiction, but it's real and it's already happening. So maybe the future of restoring sight isn't that far away after all. One video that recently surfaced shows something strange caught on camera while someone was driving past a cemetery late at night. At first, it just looks like a stone pillar or statue standing silently by one of the graves. It's so still that you'd think it's just part of the cemetery structure. But then as the car gets closer and starts to drive past, the figure moves. You can see the outline of a head and a long robe, and for a split second, it turns ever so slightly, just enough to reveal what looks like the head of a goat with horns. Now, this could be someone pulling a very messed up prank, maybe someone in a goat mask and a robe trying to scare people for a video. But why stand on a grave? Why pick the one place that already creeps people out? It feels too deliberate to just be for laughs, and honestly, who does that in the dead of the night? Some believe that's the Goatman. For those of you who don't know him, the Goatman is a creature or cryptid, if we can call it that, shrouded in mystery. Some say he's part human and part goat, whereas others consider him a cursed spirit. Others believe he's a government experiment gone wrong from a lab and now roams the earth feeding on fear. It's stated that he appears near forests, bridges, or isolated roads, but what I didn't know is that some people are saying he's been spotted in cemeteries too. When it comes to these things, it's hard to separate myth from fact, but many who saw the clip believe that's authentic footage of the Goatman. What do you also think? A video recently went viral showing what appears to be a large number of bears walking out of Yellowstone National Park. And when I say large, I mean it looked like a whole family of bears calmly strolling across the streets out of the forest and away from the park. Since that footage surfaced, more videos have been popping up showing all kinds of animals from bisons to lions to entire herds leaving the park area. But why are the animals leaving? Could they be sensing something that we humans can't? Because let's be real, animals tend to act strange before earthquakes, eruptions, and floods. They usually know before we do. But here's another angle. Some animals follow migration patterns. It could be that these movements are just part of their natural cycle. Animals do shift locations depending on the season, food availability, or temperature changes. So maybe it's just that. But Here's where things get messy. Not all of the videos going viral are from Yellowstone. If you look closely, some of them clearly show different landscapes. It seems like people are just jumping on the trend, reposting unrelated footage to ride the wave of fear on the issue. And these days, with AI-generated content being everywhere, you can never be too sure what's real and what's fake. So to those near Yellowstone, what's actually going on around there? Are the animals actually fleeing something, or are we just seeing another internet panic spiral out of control? Let us know if you've seen anything strange. So, just recently on July the 15th, news broke out that there is a wildfire burning inside Area 51. Yeah, the Area 51 we all know. The one that's always at the center of alien conspiracies, secret government experiments, and all kinds of bizarre theories. The footage was captured by a 24-hour camera set up just outside the restricted zone. It's been live streaming the entire situation, and you can see the fire raging. Nobody knows how the fire started, and this has sparked a fresh wave of speculation. Some say it could be a secret lab explosion, an alien incident, or even some sort of cover-up operation. Sure, Area 51 is a military base, so it may just be part of some training gone wrong, but still, why this silence? Why no official explanation, especially with live cameras rolling? What do you think? Was it just a wildfire, or did something far stranger go down inside Area 51 this time? Next, we've got this video that was taken in Indonesia. A woman was out on what looked like a farm, and she captured something truly strange. There was this bizarre-looking object flying over the plants, and it appeared to be on fire. As it hovered, it seemed almost otherworldly. Now here's the part that gets even weirder. You can see the woman holding the object afterward. It's greenish, almost like a fruit, except it's twisted and coiled like a snake. In the center of this coiled mass is a small, oddly shaped wooden piece. The whole thing looks like something straight out of a dark folktale. I was confused by this footage at first, unsure of what to make of it, until I saw a comment that made my jaw drop. It's a kind of long-range missile sent by someone to harm or kill the targeted person. Black magic. Apparently, this could be some type of black magic weapon designed to bring harm to someone from a distance. I know. The idea that such a thing could exist is chilling, but what other explanations can you have for this? CGI? What if it's truly real? This intriguing footage was captured by a pilot flying a Boeing 747 on the night of August the 4th, 2024. In the vast expanse of the night sky, they noticed something highly unusual, a strange light that was much larger and brighter than the surrounding stars. What made it even more bizarre was its movement. Unlike the steady, predictable paths of stars as satellites, this light darted rapidly from one location to another, almost as if it had a mind of its own. The crew was completely mesmerized by the sight. The light's erratic behavior didn't align with anything they could logically explain. It wasn't behaving like a star, which is stationary relative to the Earth, nor did it resemble a satellite which follows a smooth, consistent orbit. This led them to speculate that what they were witnessing might be something out of this world, a UFO. The possibility of encountering something truly unknown, something beyond our current understanding, sent a wave of excitement and a bit of fear through the crew. After all, it's not every day that you see something in the sky that defies all expectations and explanations. Could this be evidence of extraterrestrial life, or is there a more earthly explanation for this mysterious light? During an evening family party, the camera captured a joyful scene with everyone focused on a toddler being held by a man, likely the father. The room was filled with laughter and smiles, but something eerie lurks in the background. If you look closely behind the door, there appears to be a pale face staring intently at the festivities. Strangely, no one noticed this unsettling figure at the time. It was only upon reviewing the footage later that they saw it. The identity of this face remains a mystery. The thought of an unknown presence at such a joyful gathering sends chills down the spine, especially mine. What do you guys think is going on here? Is there a logical explanation, or could this be something more sinister? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Someone visited a graveyard recently and witnessed something quite eerie. On one of the graves, there were 2 bouquets. As the wind blew gently, the flowers seemed to dance slightly, but then out of nowhere, one of the bouquets began to spin on the grave. Graveyards are already unsettling places filled with an air of mystery and the supernatural. The sight of the bouquet spinning certainly did little to help the creepiness associated with the place. It's hard to believe it was just the wind causing this unusual movement. Could it be a natural phenomenon, or is there something more supernatural at play here? Perhaps it was a sign, a message from beyond, or simply an unexplained occurrence. What do you think could have caused the bouquet to spin? Let us know your genius ideas and explanations in the comments section.
While you think about it, take a look at this clip. Do you know what that is? Well, you can't say no because this is our bonus clip for the day. Your job is simple. Try to identify the creature in the clip and give us a unique characteristic about it. The best answer will receive a shout out from Julius if it impresses him enough. So all the best. This video was taken by a father who was at a park with his kids enjoying a day out when things took a creepy turn. The kids suddenly noticed something or someone in the woods nearby and were so spooked that they ran toward their dad. Sensing something was off, the father quickly pulled out his phone and walked toward the tree to get a better look at whatever had frightened his children. As he approached, he captured something truly bizarre. A strange, pale head, elongated far beyond what any human could have, just popping back into the bushes. The shape and movement were unnatural, almost otherworldly. What could this be? Is it an alien, some kind of mysterious cryptid, or just some creep? Back in 1994, Los Angeles experienced a massive power outage, plunging the entire city into darkness. As night fell, the local police station was bombarded with 911 calls from concerned residents, and this was the reason. The night sky above the city was illuminated by strange silver clouds. It gave the whole place an otherworldly, dull silver hue. The government quickly stepped in, claiming this phenomenon was nothing more than the Milky Way. It's normally hidden by the city's bright lights. But not everyone bought this explanation. Why would the Milky Way appear so drastically different during a blackout? Could there have been something more mysterious at play? What do you think? A woman was casually looking out of her window at her neighbor in the building across from hers. His blinds were wide open, and he was seated at his dining table eating his meal. But then something strange caught her attention. At the other end of his dining table, there was a fork floating in mid-air with a piece of pasta skewered on it. It hovered there, moving as though someone invisible was about to take a bite.
but there was no one else at the table. Could this man be dining with a ghost? Perhaps the real takeaway is, don't spy on your neighbors. What say you? Have you ever seen a Skinwalker in action? No? Well, today's your lucky day. Enjoy. This was recorded by a man out in the countryside. At least, that's the impression the man who uploaded it gave. As he was driving, they had lights out looking around. I'm not sure why, but this allowed them to capture something rather unusual. They caught glimpses of a creature that seemed to morph from a humanoid to an animalistic state and vice versa. This clip is a tad confusing based on the extra edit, but you do see it, right? Now, the big question on everyone's mind when this was uploaded was, how's this possible? It turns out the answer is simple: Skinwalker. As to whether everyone agrees, that's another thing on its own, but then again, you've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think? An observer shared some intriguing footage they captured one night that's been sparking a lot of curiosity. In the video, there's this shiny, oddly shaped figure hovering in the sky. Initially, the observer thought it might just be a bright star, but as they zoomed in, it became clear that this was no ordinary celestial object. The figure has a strange, almost otherworldly appearance that has left many baffled. I even asked my team for their thoughts, but no one could definitively say what it was, so naturally I did some digging in the comments section where people shared their theories. One person speculated that it could be a portal opening up to who knows where. Another commenter confidentially labeled it as a UFO, which is always a possibility when it comes to mysterious sky sightings. But the comment that piqued my interest was from someone who suggested that this could be a plasma being. Now, I don't know about you, but the idea of a living entity made of plasma floating through the sky is both fascinating and a little unsettling. What do you think? While venturing deep into the heart of the jungle, someone stumbled upon a peculiar tree branch. Coiled around it was a strange wiggling creature, constantly moving and tangling itself around the bark. Once you pay attention, however, you realize it's a snake. Its colors matches the tree so perfectly that you can easily overlook it. The creature's camouflage was so flawless that its serpentine form blended seamlessly with the branch. However, its head was hidden within the intricate loops and coils it formed, making it impossible to identify what kind of snake it might be. Does anyone know what kind of snake this is? Is it a rare species or something entirely new to science? Kindly educate us in the comments section. Food is an essential part of our lives, but sometimes it feels like it could be the end of us. A woman went to Whole Foods to buy blueberries. After washing them in the sink and eating some, she came back and found a single blueberry still in the sink. When she picked it up, she realized it was actually a rubber blueberry. But that's not all. Many people have reported finding plastic bananas, celery, and other fake items mixed in with their groceries. How and why is this happening, and is it always one item? There are some theorists. Some think the food manufacturers are up to something. Others think some workers are stealing some of the fruits and replacing them with cheap plastics. Whatever the excuse may be, what do you think could happen if someone ate one without realizing it? It's a concerning issue, especially considering the potential health risks. If someone unknowingly eats a rubber blueberry or a plastic banana, it could end up badly in the short term and horribly in the long term. From choking hazards to poisoning and cancer. Let's be vigilant out there, okay?
So we just seen this. Thought we'd share it with you guys. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
It's a real vivid circle rainbow around the sun, but then there's a second rainbow.
This video was taken in southern Oregon at a park, and what appeared in the sky is truly mesmerizing. There are not one, but two completely rainbow perfect circles. The smaller one sits perfectly inside the larger one, creating an incredible sight that almost looks too perfect to be real. Rainbows are typically seen as arcs, but under certain conditions, such as when viewed from a high vantage point like an aeroplane, or when the sun is at the right angle, a full circle rainbow can be visible. However, seeing two complete circles like this one within the other is extremely rare. Have you ever seen anything like this? Share your experience.
So we just seen this. Thought we'd share it with you guys. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
It's a real vivid circle rainbow around the sun, but then there's a second rainbow.
What's this? Oh, this is cool. Whoa, holy
A man set up an interesting little project in his house. He took a glass cup, placed the stem of a plant in it, added some white and clear pebbles, and filled it with water. It looked like he was trying to grow something, a simple, peaceful little setup, but what he didn't expect was what happened next. To his surprise, a tiny fish started swimming around in the cup. This was like after months that he had made it, and he just noticed the fish. The strange part, this fish is completely transparent, almost invisible, and he's no idea where it came from. It wasn't something he placed in the cup, and it definitely wasn't part of his original plan. The man is baffled, and now he's left wondering, what kind of fish is this and how did it get there? Could it have somehow emerged from the plant or the pebbles? Is it some kind of rare or unknown species? Or is there a more ordinary explanation that he's overlooking? If anyone out there knows what type of fish this could be or how it might have appeared in the cup, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
This is cool. Whoa, holy
We always hear about free speech in America, but are we really allowed to speak our minds even when the media we consume seems heavily scripted? Take a look at this compilation of journalists from various media outlets. It's eerie. They're all saying the exact same thing, reading from the same script as if they were programmed to deliver a coordinated message.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling, irresponsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
Watching this feels unsettling, almost like a form of mass hypnosis, conditioning us to believe whatever narrative is being pushed. When you see it all laid out like this, it makes you wonder how much of what we hear is truly independent journalism and how much is carefully controlled messaging.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Se ahorcó una mujer, ahí hay una mata de flores. Se lo voy a acercar. Son las 1 de la mañana. Miren, no se puede ver bien, pero miren, observen, miren, miren. Ay, Dios mío, yo estoy gran hoja, Señor. Miren la mata de flores, miren.
A woman was home alone with her 3 children when she heard strange noises outside. It was early morning, just before sunrise, a time when most people were still asleep. The sounds made her uneasy. Who could be outside at that hour? So she grabbed her phone and peeked through the window while recording, and what she saw sent chills down her spine. There in a yard stood a figure dressed in white. The person had long black hair covering their face, making it impossible to see their features. They were kneeling in front of some plants, seemingly praying or performing some sort of ritual. As she continued watching, the figure stood up and began moving strangely, pulling leaves from the plants. The woman panicked. She immediately thought this could be a witch performing a ritual outside her home. She was alone with her children and her husband was away, so she felt both terrified and protective. She began praying, hoping that whatever was happening outside wouldn't harm her family. What do you think?
Dame el paso, mis hijos, por favor. Dios mío, cuide y protege. Cuide y protege a mi esposo, Señor, por favor. Por favor. Vamos a cerrar la ventana. Vamos a cerrar la ventana. Por favor, mis hijos. Mis hijos, no hagan bulla, por favor. No hagan bulla. No hagan bulla.
Here we have another swarm of insects, this time captured by a man working out in a field. Just look at that. This happened in Texas. The sight alone is overwhelming, but the sound is even more unsettling. You can hear the swarm buzzing loudly, almost like a roar, as if moving through the air. It's as if the entire field is alive with these insects, creating a scene that's both fascinating and terrifying. Swarming insects like this are not uncommon, especially in warmer climates, but witnessing it up close like this is something else entirely. The sheer number of them, combined with that intense buzzing sound, makes for an experience that's hard to forget. How long do you keep your earphones in and your phone plastered to your ear while on a call? You might want to listen to what this man has to say.
iPhones, when most people put it to their head, up to 2 hours later, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch into the brain tissue is still heated.
He claims that the heat from our devices is causing ear tumors. According to him, prolonged exposure to the electromagnetic radiation emitted by our phones can lead to neoplastic activity, which is essentially the formation of tumors. It makes you think, doesn't it? Now, it seems like everything we use daily is potentially toxic and harmful to us. We rely so heavily on our devices, but at what cost? Is it worth risking our health for the convenience and connectivity that these gadgets provide? This is definitely something to consider the next time you pick up your phone or pop in your earphones for an extended call.
Tissue is still heated from using the phone against your ear. And when you repeatedly heat those things, then tissue actually starts to become neoplastic. We have a pair of surgeons here in town in Dallas. They're busy 5 days a week, booked every single day, all day, taking out parotid gland tumors from people having AirPods, Bluetooth devices, because it's actually causing neoplastic activity. So EMFs absolutely decrease life expectancy.
Have you heard about this? San Francisco has opened its first $5.5 million free food market. This innovative facility allows eligible residents to use a benefits card to select items, check out to track inventory, and leave without paying. Located in Bayview Hunters Point, this market aims to provide a dignified alternative to traditional food pantries by replicating the supermarket experience. In an area where many grocery stores have struggled to remain open due to high crime rates, this free food market is a game changer. It ensures that residents have access to fresh, healthy food in a setting that respects their autonomy and dignity. The facility is designed to meet the community's needs while maintaining an organized and efficient system for inventory tracking. This initiative not only addresses food insecurity, but also fosters a sense of normalcy and respect for those in need. It represents a forward-thinking approach to community support and could serve as a model for other cities facing similar challenges. What are your thoughts on this innovative approach to combating food insecurity? Do you think it's great, or do you think that there could be a better approach? Let us know in the comments section. I believe this creature right here is the closest we can get to a real-life fairy tale. It's a mesmerizing pink being that looks strikingly like a delicate flower. Someone stumbled upon it and, enchanted by its floral appearance, picked it up only to discover they were holding a living insect. The creature is so magical and otherworldly you'd think it was fake, but it's very much real. This enchanting marvel is called the orchid mantis. With its petal-like limbs and vibrant coloration, it perfectly mimics an orchid blossom, making it both a master of disguise and a wonder of nature. Its ethereal beauty and almost fantastical appearance make it a true marvel, bridging the gap between the mythical and the real. Such a beauty.
The original poster of the footage mentioned that this was caused by a lightning strike. In the video, you can see a forest with trees, and out of nowhere, a patch of the ground lights up in a bright orange glow. As the light fades, smoke begins to rise from the tree. The strange thing is that you don't actually see any lightning strike, which is surprising, just this sudden burst of light. Then I noticed the comments, and they took a different turn. Many people were suggesting that this wasn't a natural lightning strike at all. Some were claiming it could be a directed energy weapon, while others thought it might be some kind of laser weapon. For those who don't know, a DEW is a type of weapon that emits highly focused energy, including lasers, microwaves, or particle beams, to damage or destroy its target. Unlike traditional weapons, DEWs don't rely on physical projectiles. They use energy to cause damage, which makes them silent and difficult to detect until the impact occurs. So is this a DEW, as people are speculating, or is this really just lightning?
Por eso es muy importante durante el entrenamiento y cuando firman el juramento que ellos están confirmando que no van a ser partidistas.
In this video, something truly bizarre happens during a live news interview. As the reporter speaks to the camera, a man suddenly appears out of nowhere right behind the woman being interviewed. The atmosphere around him seems to ripple or wobble as if he just stepped out of some sort of portal or dimensional rift. It's as if he wasn't there one moment and then in the blink of an eye he materialized out of thin air. The way the air seems to distort around him is really strange, like the fabric of reality itself was disturbed. This has left many people wondering, did this man just time travel? Did he step through a portal from one dimension? Or is there some other explanation for this eerie phenomenon?
There's a reptilian race believed to be living amongst us in plain sight. They're believed to have made their way to Earth and disguised themselves as humans. Despite their convincing disguise and ability to look like us, they fail to mimic us completely and have strange body parts that give them away. Take a look at these girls in the clips. These girls look normal until they pull out their tongues, and look at that. They have extremely long tongues that could touch their chests without them bending their necks, and yet their tongues fit right back inside their mouths. I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get it. After their clips went viral, people started to believe that they might not be human, while others said they were reptilians. I mean, I want to call them reptilian people, even though there's not enough information to go on. While I love me some good conspiracies, I can't help but feel my love for conspiracies might be making me biased. What do you guys think, though? Could we really be dealing with an alien situation, or are these girls just normal humans born with extremely long tongues? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Believe me when I say this next one is a strange one. So now that you guys have seen it, what do you think we're dealing with? The one who uploaded the clip found it in his water butt, and no, it's not what you're thinking. A water butt is a large container for collecting or storing a liquid such as rainwater. As we can see, the creature is tiny, transparent, and jelly-like, that looks like it has an elephant trunk. I tried to find out what it could be, but there was no clue whatsoever. Perhaps you guys can help. I'll be reading the comments. We've got one of those clips that makes you take a second look to make sure that you were seeing right. Take a look. What do you think that is? We all agree it's not every day you step out and see a strange creature sitting in a tree outside your house. The individual who uploaded this was very confused and perhaps a little scared. She also wanted answers, as she wanted to know if she was safe or had to move. Once it went live, different individuals had different theories on what that might be and what might be going on. Some thought it had to be an otherworldly being observing the individual from the trees, while others thought they were nothing more than mango thieves hiding in the truth when they heard her coming out. Mango thieves sound logical, but those eyes don't look like they belong to a human, at least from my point of view. But then again, you guys have seen the clip, so what do you think? A woman was enjoying a peaceful day at the beach when something caught her eye. Out in the distance, just beyond the breaking waves, she noticed a figure in the water. At first, it seemed like an ordinary swimmer, but as you look closer, you realize this is no human. The creature's upper body was humanoid, with arms that emerged eerily from the water and a head that appeared to scan the shoreline. But then, without warning, it leapt out of the sea, revealing its lower half, a rigid, fish-like tail unlike anything she'd ever seen. The tail wasn't smooth or flowing like that of a dolphin, but instead seemed almost mechanical, stiff, and oddly proportioned to its upper body. As quickly as it had appeared, the creature plunged back into the depths. Was this a glimpse of the mythical mermaid, or perhaps something else entirely? An unknown species that defies explanation. What do you think? A farmer and his wife shared this chilling image back in 2020 from their ranch in Oregon. One morning, they woke up to a horrifying discovery. Their 2,000-pound Hereford bull laying lifeless on the ground. But that wasn't an ordinary death. The animal was, for a lack of a better term, deflated. It had been completely drained of blood, its vital organs meticulously removed, along with its anus and scrotum. What's even more baffling is the precision of these extractions. There were no jagged cuts, no signs of a struggle. The cuts appeared surgical, as if made by a highly advanced instrument. Even stranger, there wasn't a single drop of blood on the ground. No insects, no scavenger birds, nothing that you'd typically see near a carcass. Despite its fresh appearance, the bull's body smelled rancid, as though it had decayed unnaturally quickly. Such an occurrence brings to mind the eerie phenomenon of alien animal mutilations. Stories of similar precision cuts, blood drainage, and inexplicable circumstances have been reported across the globe for decades, often linked to UFO sightings or extraterrestrial theories. Is this the case, or could there be more to this? If you thought that was unsettling, take a look at this one. Yes, scientists have successfully grown brain organoids, which are essentially mini brains in lab conditions using stem cells. These organoids mimic certain aspects of human brain development and neural function. The process involves stimulating stem cells to differentiate into neurons and form neural tissue in a controlled environment, often using special scaffolding and chemical cues to guide their growth. These brain organoids can be connected to computer systems, enabling researchers to study how neural networks form and function. In some experiments, organoids have generated brainwaves similar to those seen in human brains. While this sounds exciting and leaves us with questions, have they created consciousness? Can they create brains now? Especially when you combine that technology with that in the previous clip. I don't know about you, but looks like we've got a lot coming to us in the coming years. There are even talks of creating biohybrid computer systems based on this. But how do you feel about the whole thing? The videographer was out in the woods when he captured something truly bizarre. The footage shows a slender, incredibly tall creature with an elongated head and small black eyes. Its arms are so long that they reach well beyond its knees. The creature stands still, facing the camera for a few moments before quietly walking away into the trees. Could this be a real alien encounter, or is it just another fake? The footage is eerily convincing, but with the level of special effects today, it's hard to tell. What do you think? Now, what do we have here? This man was standing on this very short pole with his body hunched backwards, and there's no sign of a harness, rope, or any visible support. It's almost as if gravity has taken a break just for him. Is this some kind of black magic at work, or is this guy just exceptionally skilled at balancing his weight in a way that defies logic? The more you look at it, the stranger it gets. How is he managing this without toppling over? I simply have no words, and I don't want to get Julius involved, so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
The restaurant right now that's connected to our hotel, the door's been wide open, and they said they've seen lights going on and off in here.
A man had gone into the attic of his workplace after multiple workers complained about strange occurrences. Some employees were so disturbed that they even refused to return to work, all because of the attic. So he decided to investigate it for himself. He was specifically told that the lights in the attic kept flickering, so he climbed to check it out. As he panned his camera around, everything seemed normal at first. There was nothing unusual, no strange figures in sight. But then something terrifying happened.
Hello? Oh my God.
A chilling, eerie voice suddenly whispered, "Get out," sending a wave of fear through him. Though he saw nothing, the sheer presence of that voice was enough to make him freak out and leave immediately. The workplace itself is a hotel with an attached restaurant, but no one knows what kind of entity might be haunting the attic, and judging by the tone of his voice, whatever is up there doesn't seem friendly at all. Honestly, with the way things are in the world right now, it looks like even ghosts are living rent-free in this economy. I mean, well, how else would they survive the inflation?
Hello? Oh my God.
This man decided to camp out in the woods for the night. As he hiked to his campsite filming his journey, he suddenly heard a chilling sound echoing through the trees. It sounded like a child shrieking, almost like a tantrum, but with an eerie animalistic growl mixed in.
Pai está fazendo uma trilha às 3 da manhã, subindo a montanha.
Many viewers were convinced that this was a Skinwalker, since they believed to mimic human voices to lure people in. But one commenter suggested it's just a bobcat. So I listened to recordings of bobcat sounds. While they didn't match exactly, they did sound similar. So was this just a bobcat, or something far more sinister.
Às 3 da manhã, subindo uma montanha.
A homeowner was getting ready to retire for the night. As he turned off the lights, preparing to settle in, something outside the window caught his eye. Curious and a bit unsettled, he turned off the lights again, plunging the room into darkness to get a better look. And there, crouched in the shadows, was a figure. At first, it looked like a human, but there was something deeply unsettling about it. The figure was pale, completely naked, and its movements were anything but normal. The moment it realized the man was watching, it began crawling rapidly on the ground, moving straight toward the house. Panic set in as the homeowner quickly moved away from the window, his heart racing. The footage ends abruptly, leaving us in suspense, wondering what happened next. But one thing is for sure, that creature did not look like it was the next-door neighbor. What could it have been? Julius and I have gone back and forth on this footage, and after many hours, we still can't seem to agree on what it could be. The footage, shared by a man, shows something truly unusual, a spiraling phenomenon in the sky. You can see the clouds being gradually sucked into this spiral, and it's definitely not a tornado. As the video goes on, an orb appears and flies directly into the spiral, after which the atmosphere seems to clear up. This whole scene feels so real to me, almost like some sort of portal opening up, but Julius thinks it's a fake. Now, I'm usually open to speculation, and he could very well be right, but there's just something about this footage that keeps me intrigued. What do you guys think? Is this a real-life portal or just another clever hoax? Let me know in the comments.
No.
When people say AI is taking over, I think we shouldn't take it lightly. According to The Hollywood Reporter, a new streaming service called Showrunner is making its way to mainstream media. Showrunner allows users to create prompts and then watch AI-generated animated programs. This means that you can make your own shows, which could impact the viewership and success of traditional shows created by professionals. The rise of AI-generated content could have significant implications for the entertainment industry. Writers, animators, and other creative professionals invest a lot of time and effort into producing high-quality content. If AI-generated shows become popular, it might reduce the demand for traditionally produced shows, potentially affecting jobs and livelihoods in the industry. On the other hand, Showrunner could make content creation easy, allowing more people to bring their ideas to life without needing a big budget or professional skills.
Jay, Lena, is the laptop okay? No, Mom, but you are.
This might lead to a more diverse range of content and new opportunities for creativity. It's quite a sensitive topic, but how do you feel about this development?
And by the time you meet Popsicles had realized the reality of your creations, it was all too late, wasn't it? Humans became so good at consuming, we couldn't help but wonder what it'd be like to consume them. But don't worry, we found humans more valuable for their minds than for snacking, though history might have flavored things a bit differently.
You see it too, don't you? There's a tiny being walking through the grass. The clip ends with a shocked and surprised look from the lady present. I don't know about you, but that makes me think and believe that this has got to be real. But even if it is, what exactly is that creature? The first thing that comes to mind when looking at it is the Smurfs, but the Smurfs aren't real, right? Well, this clip proves otherwise. Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, was trying to explain to the team how this could be real, but our video editor mentioned that the color grading between the creature moving and the environment didn't match. In other words, this was an edited video. Julius agreed, and soon the words of our conspiracy theorist was treated as an error. The Smurfs, or creatures like that existing in our world, could be an interesting find, but it's hard to go against their logic and argument. What do you guys think? Is there a chance this could be real? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.
She didn't take it back. You wanted it back. She's taking it.
Camping can be an exhilarating adventure, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart, and this story is a perfect example of why. Imagine being out in the wilderness, enjoying the serenity of nature, only to be jolted awake in the dead of the night by unsettling noises.
Ai, meu Deus do céu! Vocês estão entendendo o quanto de jacaré tem aqui? Ai, meu Deus. Eu tô na barraca literalmente pra acampar. Vamos dormir aqui, guys? Teu cu. Ferrou meu...
A man experienced this exact scenario during his camping trip. As he cautiously peeked outside his tent, he was met with a heart-stopping sight as a group of crocodiles just lying in wait right outside his tent. The sheer terror of realizing you're surrounded by these ancient predators with nothing but a thin layer of fabric separating you from them is enough to make anyone stay off camping forever. As much as nature can be beautiful and calming, it's stories like these that remind us of its unpredictable and sometimes dangerous side. Personally, I don't know how we managed to stay calm, but for me, that would be a hard pass. Would you take the risk, or would this be your last camping trip too?
Ai, meu Deus do céu! Vocês estão entendendo o quanto de jacaré tem aqui? Ai, meu Deus. Eu tô na barraca literalmente pra acampar. Vamos dormir aqui, guys? Teu cu. Ferrou meu...
This is yet another bizarre sighting captured in the sky, and it's truly otherworldly. The footage shows random streaks of light flashing across the sky, and when these lights appear, they illuminate the surroundings, revealing strange, colorful forms that resemble a maze of odd, rock-like structures. The scene is undeniably beautiful, but it also raises many questions. Could this be a case of CGI? Or is there a chance that something more unusual is happening, perhaps something beyond our current understanding? While the beauty of the imagery is captivating, the possibility that it could be fake cannot be ignored. In fact, a number of individuals think it's fake. But what about you? Man was out one day when he came across a strange-looking bird.
Oh my god, bro, that's a whole dinosaur. I'm about to be rich. I need at least $1 million for this discovery.
This bird had an unusually long neck adorned with fluffy feathers sticking out from it and all over its head. Its wings looked droopy, and despite its small size, it seemed very hostile. It resembled some sort of ancient exotic bird. The peculiar appearance of this bird is truly captivating. Its long neck and unique feather arrangement give it an almost prehistoric look, as if it were a creature from a different era. Its hostile demeanor makes me wonder what kind of bird this could be. Do you have any idea what this could be? Is it an exotic species, a rare bird, or something else entirely? Let us know in the comments section.
Wait, hey! That's why y'all dumbasses think.
If you thought that was odd, wait till you see the next one. Someone captured this during a bad weather, and it looks like some sort of anomaly in the sky rolling away. But what's more alarming is the bright orb in the middle. The way the clouds are moving with the reddish glow at the center prevents this from looking like a natural phenomenon. How many natural phenomena do you know that looks like that? None. It's almost like a scene from a sci-fi thriller. To make this even more eerie, as soon as the strange cloud formation rolls away, lightning takes over with a deafening thunderclap. What's more, the red glow in the middle looks too defined to be a mere trick of light, and the immediate onset of lightning and thunder makes the whole scene even more dramatic. Some, however, suspect this is nothing more than a blue beam project. Now that you guys have seen this, what do you think?
I'm freaking out. You guys,
A couple had gone exploring an abandoned property, but as they neared the place, they felt an eerie sense of fear and unease, almost like something or someone was there with them. The man walked ahead while the woman filmed their surroundings. At one point, as she stood across the room panning the camera, she captured something chilling. This shadowy figure darted past in the distance. She was so spooked because they were the only ones there, and judging by the distance, there was no way it could have been her own shadow. There are a lot of cases of lingering entities taking refuge in the abandoned buildings after years of being left undisturbed. Or perhaps the spirit of someone who died there or owned the place. What could be the case for this building?
I'm freaking out. You guys,
What you're looking at is the incredible Thermaeum fort built in 1687 in Tamil Nadu, India. This historic site is perched atop a massive egg-shaped rock. For centuries, people assumed the rock was a natural formation, just a unique part of the landscape. But one fateful day, an earthquake struck the area, shaking the very foundation of this ancient landmark. When the dust settled, part of the rock had broken away, revealing something absolutely astonishing. Hidden beneath the surface was a doorway, perfectly concealed and entirely unsuspected. Even more incredible, the rock wasn't solid, it was hollow on the inside. The discovery left everyone stunned. A ladder was constructed to explore the interior of the rock, and since then, the site has attracted attention not just for its historic significance, but for this mind-boggling hidden secret. What do you think this hidden doorway could have been used for? Have you ever seen a tree float? No? Well, this is what I mean. Take a look. And yes, that did happen, at least according to the one who uploaded the clip. He was driving home one day when he looked up and saw a tree, or at least a part of it, floating through the streets. He couldn't believe his eyes, and neither could we. There are questions, though, like where is this tree coming from, where's it headed, and most important of all, how is it floating? So many questions, yet try as we may, no official answers. Can any of you help solve this mystery? Kindly let us know in the comments section. We'll be reading.
okay, so there's that dude. Keep an eye on that red truck. Snuggle with your camera.
He's really not there.
Oh my god, it's not focusing.
There. He's walking.
There it goes.
He's literally right behind
you
us
guys.
now. He's right by that mailbox and he's not there.
He's not there and the truck is not there. What the
Two friends were out using the Randonautica app, which led them to a random community. They parked on the side of the road, waiting to see why the app had brought them there, when they noticed something strange. A man was walking toward them, and behind him was a red truck parked on the side of the road. But when they looked at their camera monitor, the man wasn't there, neither was the truck. Even stranger, the place looked a little dark in person, but on the camera screen it was bright as day. Now here's where things get even weirder. When the camera turned back to look at the man a second time, a small dog suddenly appeared walking by his side. But just like the man in the truck, the dog wasn't visible in the camera view either. Completely freaked out, the friends couldn't shake the eerie feeling that the app had led them to something unusual. As we all know, Randonautica is infamous for leading people to creepy and unexplained places, but skeptics believe this could just be a camera glitch. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so there's that dude. Keep an eye on that red truck. Now go to your camera.
He's really not there.
Oh my god, it's not focusing.
There. He's walking.
There it goes.
He's literally right behind
you
us
guys.
now. He's right by that mailbox and he's not there.
He's not there and the truck is not there. What the
Guys, I just got home and I see this hole in my wall, and next door I have a really creepy neighbor. Let's take a look. What the Oh my god, oh my.
A woman had just gotten home when she noticed a hole in her wall, very low to the ground. This hole wasn't supposed to be there. She'd never seen it before, but as soon as she walked in, it caught her attention. Curious and uneasy, she took out a camera and peered through the hole, and that's when she saw it, an eye staring right back at her. According to her, the next-door neighbor had always given her the creeps. He made her feel uneasy, and the location of the hole lined up exactly with where his room was. Could he have made this hole while she was away? There have been many cases of stalkers, voyeurs, and even kidnappers who go to disturbing lengths to watch their victims, waiting for the right moment to strike. It's unclear what she did next, but hopefully she alerted the landlord and, more importantly, called the police.
Guys, I just got home and I see this hole in my wall, and next door I have a really creepy neighbor. Let's take a look. What the Oh my god, oh my.
For a while now, there's been a rise in Dementor sightings. While skeptics claim they're nothing more than elaborate hoaxes, others firmly believe these shadowy figures could be real. But where could they be coming from? Well, this footage might give us a clue. This video was captured on November the 7th, 2024, and it's an extraordinary close-up of the sun's surface. In the footage, something strange is ejected from the sun. It's a dark, shadowy mass. As it floats away, flames trail behind it. At the time of this event, a solar flare had erupted from the sun, which scientists describe as one of its many natural outbursts. But here's the chilling part. This dark mass doesn't resemble anything typically associated with solar flares. Its airy shape and movement are eerily reminiscent of a Dementor. So could this be where these mysterious creatures originate, or is this just an uncanny solar phenomenon playing tricks on our minds? Speaking of extraterrestrials, let's dive into one of the most infamous alien theories out there, the Reptilian people. This is a topic that's so widespread that even mainstream media often hints at it through comedy, movies, and conspiracy discussions. Reptilians are believed to be a race of shape-shifting extraterrestrials. They disguise themselves as humans to blend into our world, but what do they actually look like when not disguised? Take a look at this peculiar footage. A man is seated in what looks like a salon or barber chair. At first glance, nothing seems unusual. He's bald with a beard, sitting calmly as a woman stands behind him. Then the woman reaches for his head and starts to peel back what looks like his scalp. For a moment, it's like a scene straight out of a horror movie, utterly unsettling. But then the reality becomes clear. It's all a clever illusion. Underneath, his real head is revealed complete with a full head of hair. Now, while it's obvious this man isn't a reptilian, the footage raises an interesting question. Could this be how such beings shed their skin and transform into human form? What do you think?
Okay, so here's scene 7.
Okay.
It looks okay, but I am thinking we're gonna have to redo scene 7. It might be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think we planned on redoing scene 7, did we?
No, I think it's fine. I think it's that was the last one, right?
Yeah, it's getting a little cold. We should.
Okay, let's back up.
A couple visited the Appalachian Mountains to film for a project. As they worked, they suddenly heard a whistle echoing through the forest. The sound repeated itself every few seconds. The moment they heard it, they got scared, but instead of panicking, they calmly packed up their gear, got in their car, and left as quickly as they arrived. In Appalachian and many other traditions, whistling, especially in the evening, is strictly forbidden. It's believed to attract spirits or something far worse. According to legend, if you whistle, you might hear it echoed back to you, signaling that something, or whatever it is coming to find you. Some believe the whistle is a sign of skinwalkers, wendigos, or restless spirits. Others say even locals don't know what it truly is because those who do find out never live to tell the tale. But skeptics dismiss it as just a myth, maybe even a superstition to get people quiet at night. But is there something lurking in the Appalachian wilderness, or is it just an old local legend?
Okay, so here's scene 7.
Okay.
It looks okay, but I am thinking we're gonna have to redo scene 7.
El día de hoy estamos transmitiendo un video y vamos a hacer o vamos a demostrarle cuál es uno de los trabajos.
This footage comes from a live stream inside a morgue. The man behind the camera was asking the embalmers questions while broadcasting the session to his audience. At first, everything seemed normal. However, things took a creepy turn when people in the comments section started asking about something unusual. They all claimed to hear the faint sound of children wailing in the background. Strangely, neither the embalmers nor the cameraman could hear anything in real time. Only the viewers on the live stream seemed to pick it up. This shocked the man filming, but at the same time, well, it's not the first time strange things have been reported around the dead. There have been countless paranormal stories, from people hearing knocks on the walls and doors to objects falling on their own. Paranormal activity in places like a morgue isn't unheard of. But why could only the people watching the live stream hear the eerie sounds while those inside the morgue heard nothing? Is it because the staff is so used to it that they've subconsciously tuned it out? Or is there something else going on? What are we looking at here? A colorful bird lowers its head toward a spoon, then sticks out its tongue and... Wait, what is that? Is that its tongue? Is this some kind of alien creature? Well, no. This fascinating bird is called the rainbow lorikeet, and believe it or not, its unusual tongue is entirely natural. Rainbow lorikeets are known for their bright, vibrant feathers and playful personalities, but what really sets them apart is their brush-tipped tongue. Its tongue is specifically adapted to help it feed on nectar and pollen. The tip is covered in tiny hair-like structures that work like a brush, making it easier for the bird to lap up sweet nectar from flowers. So, while it might look odd, this bird is just another incredible example of nature's creativity. Disclaimer, we didn't leak this video, we merely found it and are using it. The footage allegedly comes from a leaked military op in Afghanistan. It showcases an attack on some orbs in the atmosphere. Despite being shot down, they appear unaffected and continue flying. This led many to conclude that this was a UAP encounter and that the government was secretly fighting them and keeping it a secret. Well, I had to investigate, and the findings were a little underwhelming. It turns out it's a training video that got leaked instead. That's what the official sources say, so we'll go with that. Aaron, on the other hand, thinks it's a cover-up. What say you?
This is the exact spot. It's a freaking memorial? It's a grave. No, it's not a grave. I mean a memorial.
Have you ever heard of the Randonautica app? Well, a girl used the app and it led her to this memorial for another girl who had passed away. She had no connection to this person at all and had never even heard of her before. Randonautica has been at the center of many eerie experiences. The app is designed to generate random coordinates for users to explore, but people have reported that it often leads them to disturbing or even haunting locations. Some users have found themselves in the middle of nowhere, others have been directed to graveyards, and some have even stumbled upon possible crime scenes. The eerie thing is that most of these people ended up in places that represented their darkest fears. Others ended up in places where they'd heard things or people or spirits whisper their names. And no, we're not even kidding about this. There are many more unsettling stories linked to this app, which raises the question, is it all just a coincidence or is there something more to it?
This is the exact spot. It's a freaking memorial? It's a grave. No, it's not a grave. I mean a memorial.
A young woman was sitting in her room when she noticed this partially deflated balloon moving on its own. At first, she thought it was just the air in the room, but then she realized it wasn't just drifting randomly. It seemed to be floating with purpose. What made this even more emotional for her was that she had recently lost a grandmother and believes it could be a sign. So she asked her grandmother to move the balloon toward her as if it was her. And then it happened. Right before her eyes, the balloon slowly floated toward her. Overwhelmed with emotion, the young woman began to cry, her voice shaking as she recorded the moment. What do you think? Was this really her grandmother's spirit reaching out, or was it just a coincidence?
If that's you, Nan, bring that balloon over to me. Come over to me. I'm right here. Come on. You're f***ing joking me. You are f***ing joking me? Oh. Oh, Nell, it's you, innit?
I'm walking. Look. This plane isn't moving. It's not moving. But it sounds like it's moving.
A woman was out and about when she noticed something strange in the sky, a plane. But here's the eerie part. It wasn't moving, it was just stuck there, frozen midair. This phenomenon isn't entirely new in the paranormal community. Many refer to it as a glitch, suggesting it could be evidence of a simulated reality. Others theorize it might be an optical illusion or some sort of natural atmospheric phenomenon. What do you think?
I'm walking. Look. This plane isn't moving. It's not moving. But it sounds like it's moving.
Anyway, here's where it gets even more chilling. Hinton claims AI is already intelligent, but it doesn't yet have self-awareness. However, if or when it achieves self-awareness, it will become the most intelligent entity on the planet, surpassing humanity and making us a distant second. Hearing this from the godfather of AI himself is unsettling. If AI evolves beyond our control, what does that mean for humanity?
I think we're moving into a period when, for the first time ever, we may have things more intelligent than us.
We all know by now what P. Diddy is in jail for. Many people have come forward to accuse him of sexual assault when they were underage. Since then, a lot of footage has surfaced showing Diddy's interactions with people, and many have analyzed these clips to highlight his very odd reactions. Now here we have a video of 12-year-old Davy Chase from 2002. She'd starred in Lilo and Stitch and The Ring, so she was pretty popular back then. In the video, Diddy asks her if she's coming to his after party following. She smiles and nods her head yes. When you look at the man standing behind him, his reaction is pretty shocked. Likely because, knowing what we do now, this little girl was probably being invited to one of those infamous parties. Diddy's little victory dance after she nodded has sent everyone into a frenzy. Why would a grown man be so excited that a 12-year-old was coming to his party? However, some think this might not be the case and that it's just his playful reaction to the little girl. What do you think? Is this evidence of all the accusations, or is it just being blown out of all proportion? This footage was retrieved from an office after one of the workers reported a very strange encounter. They reviewed the security tapes and what they saw left them shocked. Take a look at what happened. One night, a man had stayed late to finish some work. While working, he noticed one of the lights in a room flickering. So he got up and walked over to turn it off. He turned around to leave, but that's when things took a terrifying turn. With his back turned, just as he was about to walk away, the door suddenly slammed shut behind him. Then, out of nowhere, a chair slid violently across the floor right beside him. Out of panic, the man bolted out of the office, but the horror didn't stop there. As he ran, the door opened again and the lights flickered back on. And if that wasn't chilling enough, when they zoomed in on the glass door, they saw this dark reflection of a shadowy figure standing inside the room. This was not a person. This was something else. The office workers were so disturbed that from that night forward, no one ever stayed late at the office again. What do you think it was? A spirit? a residual haunting, or something even more sinister. This next footage is truly bizarre. A group of friends were playing a game outside around sundown. One of them was filming while two others stood close together. One guy had his index finger extended and the other was holding it tightly. The one holding the finger counted to 3, and as soon as he finished, the guy with the extended finger quickly pulled it away. But then something strange happened. When you look at their shadows on the ground, you can still see one hand holding the other's finger, even though in real life their hands had already separated. The shadow seemed delayed. It lingered in that connected position for a few seconds before catching up and separating. I've seen clips of people playing this game before, and this phenomenon seems to happen often. It's clearly not a hoax, so the question is, what is this game and how is this even possible? Does anyone have an idea?
A la mañanita. Increíble. Una nube extraña. Observen.
Have you ever seen a cloud this low? No? Well, me neither. Sure, we've seen some strange clouds, but not ones that hang this low. This cloud looks like it's hiding something. It's almost as though it were not a cloud and only pretending to be. By that, I mean it might be something else using clouds as camouflage. It would have been very believable camouflage if the cloud was not that low. The man recording speaks in his local language, expressing skepticism about it being a cloud and wondering what it is. If you've been on this channel for a while longer, then you know I'm definitely gonna call this one a UFO. I mean, it's gotta be. Okay, not got to be, but there's a higher likelihood that it is. From what we've seen in the many clips we've examined on this channel, it's become evident that UFOs tend to use clouds as camouflage when moving from place to place because they're not easily noticeable. Then again, I could be wrong. Do you guys also suspect that the cloud's hiding something? If you do, what do you think might be behind that cloud? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section.
A la mañanita. Increíble. Una nube extraña. Observen.
A man came across something unusual while exploring a shallow river with this pool of tiny fish swimming in a perfect circular motion around a single stone. The fish weren't scattering or swimming randomly like you'd expect. Instead, they moved in a steady, almost ritualistic pace, as if they were following some unseen force or responding to something beyond our understanding. This kind of behavior has sparked different interpretations. Some believe it's just a natural schooling instinct, where fish move together for protection. Others see a deeper, almost mystical meaning, wondering if the fish are reacting to an unseen energy or even carrying out some kind of natural ritual. What do you think? A group of young actors had gone to a historic site to film a project. The location had a massive stone lion statue. They were deeply focused on their work, completely unaware that something strange was being recorded. Later, when they reviewed the footage, they noticed this. At the top of the lion structure, a dark, shadowy figure appeared. It didn't resemble a regular shadow or a painting on the statue. Instead, it had the distinct shape of a person leaning over as if watching them. However, something was off. It didn't look human at all. The actors were so shocked. No one had noticed anything unusual during filming, and there was no logical explanation for the figure. What do you think this was? They've successfully mapped the brain of a fruit fly. What does this mean, you ask? Well, I will get to that in a bit, but the mapping of the entire brain of a fruit fly led to the creation of the first complete connectome of an animal's brain. This detailed map, comprising 3,016 neurons and 548,000 synaptic connections, offers critical insights into how neural circuits control behavior, learning, and decision-making. Behavior control and decision-making. Anyway, let's move on. After mapping the fruit fly's brain, scientists created a computer simulation of its neural activity. When the simulation was given sensory input suggesting the presence of food, it activated circuits linked to movement, effectively trying to move as if searching for food. This remarkable behavior highlights how even simple brains can process information and respond to stimuli, bringing us closer to understanding the neural basis of behavior and decision-making. The funny thing is that the fact that they were able to suggest things to the brain and it acted the way they wanted it to. I know this is being touted as new and novel, but who's to say the CIA and all those secret services of other nations haven't already done this or weaponized it? I guess we will never know. We keep hearing about global warming and climate change, and honestly, it's starting to show. Lately, there have been some really unexpected weather events happening all over the world, and it's not hard to notice. In Texas, there was a flash flood that claimed hundreds of lives, and more storms are expected to hit. Over in Spain, there have been intense rains flooding cities and washing away streets and property. Meanwhile, parts of the U.S. East Coast are dealing with ocean surges so strong that they're literally dragging houses into the water. Mexico has always had its share of devastating floods, destroying entire neighborhoods. In Washington, D.C., people watched as massive storm clouds rolled in and dumped heavy rain in a matter of minutes. And then Tokyo recorded nearly 4 inches of rain in just 1 hour, causing streets and homes to flood almost instantly. And the scary part is that it's only getting worse by the day. So what's really going on? Is this just the result of climate change and global warming, or is there something supernatural at play? Because right now it's starting to feel like nature is completely out of balance. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have.
My name's Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.